and I'm so glad that you were able to join me for Success Starters last week. We are going to move on to standards walls today, and standards walls can be really powerful when we think about acceleration. So, before we get started, let's just do a quick checklist review of acceleration. So we know that when students can articulate or share the meaning of the learning goal, that's an important part of acceleration. We also know that we have to have scaffolding as a prerequisite for the new learning. So we're going to show them quickly what they missed without going back and reteaching everything. We're going to have hands-on academic vocabulary development. We're going to think about getting kids touching things, using things, some sensory activities. We're also going to use just-in-time remediation in context of this new learning. We're not going to go back and spend weeks and weeks on the new learning. We're going to give them exactly what they need to move on to the next part. Visible and immediate feedback. This is really important that kids know quickly how they're doing, that's visible to them. And one thing I'm going to suggest is using audio feedback. I really like using an app called Mote. And that's just really simple. So try using that as well. Cooperative learning. So we're going to make sure that students are working together and they're feeling safe in this environment. That's really important post-pandemic. And finally, we want to make sure that students know the big concepts. They have a preview of that learning before their peers. So if students are feeling behind, and this can be a great strategy for our struggling learners, we want to make sure that they see those big concepts in advance. And I really like that. I'm taking a statistics class right now, and I like to watch the videos on YouTube before I go to class. It gives me some confidence. So I totally understand that. So here we go. We're going to talk about standards walls and how they're different from typical content objectives. On the left, you see I can read and understand nonfiction texts. On the right, you see the same objective. I can read and understand nonfiction text, but take a minute and look at the differences there. So I'll give you a second. So hopefully looking at that, you're noticing that the standards there, the sequence of standards are there, reading and writing, those different domains are listed. And then look at those power words like find and use, compare and contrast, describe. All of those words are there to guide students. And most importantly, they have a strong visual to help them see the big learning. So just when you're creating standards walls, there are some things you want to keep in mind. Make sure that you have an overarching essential question that's really clear for the students. Make sure that the wall is clear and it shows that learning goal for the day. Make sure the learning goal is articulated by the teacher and the students throughout the class. We know the importance of revisiting that target multiple times throughout the class, and especially the opening and the closing. We know those are the most important times in a class. The tip, that is the chart that we're going to be using with the term, the information, and a picture. And so we want to make sure that that is in student-friendly terms, and then we have great pictures that mean a lot to them. And that the wall displays student work. So show students how they're progressing, showcase that student work along the wall, and make sure that students can really read those words on the standards wall. That's really important for them as well. Okay, so here is your task in this module or section of our learning session. So here are your must-dos. You're going to take a pre-assessment on standards walls. When you complete that, click on this little arrow and mark to let me know that you're done. Then you're going to watch an overview of that of standards walls, and that's actually what you're doing right now. read a blog post. We have a simple blog post by Susie Pepper Rollins there for you. Then you're going to create an outline of a standards wall for an upcoming unit and post it on our Jamboard. Click there and you'll put it on page 1. And then you're going to finally take a mastery check on standards walls right there and then mark that off. That's everything you must do. If you want to, here are a few more things you can do. Use standards walls with your students. Report back on our Jamboard about how it went. So just go back to that same Jamboard, let us know. Share about standards walls with your PLC or department. If you do that, go ahead and click that and let me know. And then finally, attend the optional sessions on Thursdays at 3 that our group is having. We would love to see you. So thank you so much, and let me know if you have any questions.